everyone, welcome to yet another episode of Deep Conversations Only. In this episode, I want to talk to you about something which I have been working on a lot lately. So, before we begin, I want to ask you a few questions. Are you one of those people who have a hard time starting anything out because you're too afraid to make mistakes? Not because you will fail, but because you will fail in front of people. Do you change clothes too many times before stepping out and keep asking for approval? Do you often feel that you will make people uncomfortable by expressing your emotions? Do you have a hard time setting boundaries of physical and mental proximity? Then this podcast is for you. Today I want to talk to you about people pleasing. How do we develop this behavior pattern? How does your mind and body interpret when you say yes to everyone over your own need? How can we let go of this pattern and truly say yes to our own needs and self-actualize ourselves? So, I don't look at people pleasing as just when you're not able to say no to people, but also when we have a lack of healthy self-esteem and self-love. Let me explain this to you. When you say yes to everyone else's needs over your own, the mind is actually reading in between the lines, which means it is also hearing you speak. Shut up, we can do this later. You don't matter, others are more important. Your needs are irrational, or you will not be loved if you say no. You will be selfish if you don't do this for them. You'll hurt them, they are already upset. No matter which one of these you have running in your mind, the end result of what the mind interprets is she's neglecting herself, which means she doesn't think her needs matter. She matters. She wants to shut her needs down. Her needs are not important enough. And this is how you are in this constant mode of self-sabotaging your own joy and your own needs. And things get intense because this is also why your body starts reciprocating the same pattern of the mind. Whatever happens in your mind is bound to manifest in your body. Your body is the gross manifestation of your mind, and the mind is the subtle manifestation of your body. So the mind now knows that she doesn't want to fulfill her needs, and the body hears it and takes the command. And a lot of diseases reciprocating the same pattern of the mind starts developing, just like autoimmune disorders, where the body is now directly attacking itself because that's what you've been doing by killing your own needs, by killing your own joy, by not saying no to people when you want to. Or something like hypothyroidism. The body stops producing thyroid hormone because it is hearing that your needs don't matter. Similarly, adrenal insufficiency happens because that is what you've been telling yourself. Shut up, and the body takes the command and starts shutting itself down. Now that we have understood the gravity of what happens when we don't say no, we don't prioritize ourselves and condition ourselves over years and years of practice to kill our own joy to please others. Let's understand, how do we develop this pattern? Where does this come from? Because I personally believe that when you see that what you have been doing with yourself is not something which you have created but something which you have picked it up from someone else, this habit of pleasing others or any other conditioning loses its grip over you. So everything starts with childhood conditioning. Most of your life is already determined by the age of 8. Whatever kind of conditioning you absorb from the environment, that is how you're going to act as an adult, unless you take charge and you take responsibility to rewire and recondition the software inside your brain. So, have you seen young adults asking a small cute child to give them kisses and hugs? We've all done that, and we've all been culprit of doing that, because who doesn't love a cute little peck from an innocent child? The child doesn't want to, but somehow we convince them by bribing them with a chocolate or a sweet or a balloon, or we tell them we'll take them out or whatever. That's the first foundation of people pleasing that we instill in a child. The other times when you have been conditioned to please others is when you hear your parents say that this time when you top your class, you are getting an iPhone. Or when you hear your parents say that I will not attend your parents' teacher meet because you are not scoring well. This pattern of hearing on a constant basis that your needs will be met, you will be loved only when you do what the other person expects you from, and please them conditions us to think as young adults, oh, what if I tell my parents that I don't want to do an engineering? I want to become an artist, or I want to become a freelancer in writing, or I want to do something else. I will disappoint them. I will not be loved. So, to avoid that, you never express yourself and you keep living the life that others have chosen for you. When you were told not to wear your comfortable clothes and wear this fancy dress which probably itches you and scratches your skin, that was another time when you were conditioned to look or feel a certain way for others. And as you grow up, you pick up this habit. And when the idea of building a community and service and help is instilled, but without the foundation of self love and self compassion, is when things go further. What does that mean? Community and service is important, but it is also important to understand that you'd be able to serve only when you are at your best. You will be able to give when your cup is full. You can't give anything to anyone with an empty cup. Service and help is not supposed to feel like a burden. It's the greatest way of nourishing our soul. But it starts feeling like a burden when we are not aware about how and what can we serve with and what we cannot. We cannot be counselors and dietitians and friends and parents and life coaches all at the same time. Each one of us have our strengths and we use them to help others, serve others. It adds to our sense of self-esteem and confidence. It fills us up rather than draining us down. So, know what can you help a person with and say no when you cannot. It is hard for us to say no because we lack self-love or we want others to validate ourselves and our existence and that we are of value, because that's what we have been conditioned to believe, that you deserve love and appreciation only when you're in accordance to how people want you to behave. So how do you let go of this behavior? I don't want you to blame your parents or society or anyone for that matter, because each one of us, even them, have received this conditioning, and that is how nature works. But we also have the capacity, the gift to rewire and recondition and reprogram how we think, how we deal with things. And if you're listening to this podcast, it's no coincidence. There's never a coincidence in universe. This means you are given this opportunity to break this cycle of low self-esteem, controlling relationships, lack of self-love, lack of self-expression, lack of fulfillment, and be of light to yourself and to others. What you need to realize here is that you are worthy of love. No matter what choices you make, unless they don't harm someone else physically, mentally and emotionally, people will always be hurt. No matter what you do, you can always try your best to make them understand and to convince them and to take things forward as smoothly as possible, but it is always up to them how they take it. The only way for you to know who you are and self-actualize your potential is when you stop modulating your behavior, your choices with respect to people outside of you and start listening to your true calling. But the sad truth is that not a lot of us are aware enough to an extent where we even know that what is it that I'm supposed to do, if not what I'm ought to do by the society. What brings me joy, what fills me up, what energizes me, what are my natural inclinations. For this, my friend, I have only 2 tips. I've been telling this you for a while and I will keep telling you, I will keep knocking the door unless you take action and actually start doing this. Spend time alone with your thoughts. Meditate, because that will give you that space between a reaction and a response where you will see how you are conditioned to behave and have the choice to go beyond it. Journal every day. It is the only way to fast forward your journey of self-growth and self-improvement 1,000 times. I'm not even kidding. Develop a relationship of trust and love with yourself. How? By standing up for yourself, your dreams. Show up. If you say that you're going to wake up early, if you say that you're going to take action, take action. Show yourself that you're standing up for yourself. Create boundaries with people. Educate people if you think they are willing to understand, but if not, it's okay for you to distance yourself from them. Consistently take action towards your growth. If you're absolutely clueless as to where to start with correcting your lifestyle choices. When do you wake up? When do you sleep? What food do you eat? Who do you watch? Who do you talk to? Where does your energy go? And you will see that your confidence and your self-esteem will boost beyond measure, because you will show yourself that I am good enough to make the right choices for myself. I can depend on my choices. And you will see that the deepest of your secrets of your heart will get clearer and clearer day by day. Don't expect clarity at day one, but eventually a power beyond you will guide you. In the end, I want to leave you with this quote. I know you have heard this 1,000 times. Go with the flow, but with a different context. Now I'm telling you, only dead fishes go with the flow. Create a loving and a compassionate relationship with yourself by knowing who you are. Do what will make you grow. Show up for yourself, show up for your dreams, and you will know that if going with the flow is your answer, or you have to break the flow and use all your might to swim to the other side of the shore where the light and joy of your life is waiting for you. I hope this podcast helped you. If it did, don't forget to share it with your friends and family. Subscribe to the Deep Conversations Only for more such solo podcasts. And until next time, lots of love and grace. Signing off from Deep Conversations Only.